October and have a release party.
Sweet.
So I'll send it all an email.
You and Cheyenne were just chatting there about the future of Sundance Harvest. Can you share some of the secrets, or is that top secret? You can't say?
Well, I haven't got the email yet, so I don't know that I'd be able to reiterate it that well.
I started Sundance Harvest in 2019 September, and I started it because for a while I went to BC. I was 18 and I backpacked by myself. It was very fun, but I couldn't find one place that reflected what I wanted to have as a farm or place I wanted to work at as a farm. So because I couldn't find anywhere and I didn't want my ideas to be in another farm that maybe wouldn't respect my ideas, I started Sundance Harvest.
Well, my mom did say when I was younger I wanted to be a tree doctor, whatever that means. And I live in Fruitland, which is a part of Hamilton, so there's a lot of farms out there, but I wasn't seeing anyone that looked like me on the farms. It was mostly older white men running them, and I sort of wanted to feel a little community.
A friend of mine came over to my house one day and I was talking about how I wanted to work on a farm. And she told me about Sundance Harvest and said that she was hiring. It aligned itself with all of my morals and my values. I knew I was pretty passionate about it, even though I've never done it before. I knew it was something that I wanted to venture into. So yeah.
I remember when I started Sundance Harvest at conferences, people would laugh at me. They'd be like, "You have to get unpaid interns. What are you talking about? You can't pay 18 an hour." And a lot of small scale farmers might say, "Oh, well, farming is a labor of love." Well, it shouldn't be. It should be a career, because if we're expecting young farmers to get into farming, we can't just say, "Oh, make no money for 5 years and then maybe make minimum wage in year 6." Because how are we going to bring the next generation in if we're saying you're going to be in debt for ever?
Farming is fun. I don't know, it's really cool to me, and I think that farming can be a viable career, and I just want people to know that much, that they can, afford to live and farm at the same time.
So it really comes down to the business and marketing of it, and I think, I love growing food. I feel like we grow really good food, but at the end of the day, we have to sell the food to actually keep the farm sustainable, and we want Sundance Harvest to be sustainable, or else the entire vision and all the work is gone.
Cheyenne, what kind of worms are these? Are there 2 kinds in here?
European night crawlers and red wigglers. Nice. My ancestors were enslaved on a sugar plantation in Jamaica, and when I went into farming, I knew that I wanted as much autonomy as possible and to create a future that they could only dream of.
I think that Cheyenne's 24-year-old black woman has an 1.5 acre farm. I think that's a pretty big deal. I don't know any other young black farmers quite like her. And yeah, I think we're starting a little ripple effect here.
You want more young farmers, and you want more young farmers of all races, all ethnicities, all creeds, all nations. And I want to make sure that BIPOC farmers, because again, when I started, there was no one to support me, no one to look up to, no farms to work at. They're not left behind, because we need as many young farmers as possible to really establish a good green future.
But something I'm really excited about is the youth programming that we're going to have next spring, a farm school, and farmer for a day, just having kids out here touching the dirt and getting to know different flowers and how plants grow. I think will be really inspiring.
I did work really hard to get where I am. I did do so much policy, so much lobbying for this location to get it as Sundance Harvest. And it just feels really good. And to think I've accomplished what Sundance Harvest has in basically 2 years, it makes me feel very overwhelmed, but I'm happy. But I think people wanted this. There was no reason that Sundance Harvest would be as successful today as it is, unless, if there was no need for it.